songs about bitches and hoes. Too many songs about pimping. Too many songs about just getting high. Too many songs about money. There's too many songs about the end of the world. And too many people who listen. Too many songs about how God closed his eyes. And not enough songs about love. There's not enough songs about love in the world. There's not enough songs about love. Deep in the ghetto, there's kids being shot down. No need to glorify murder. And in suburbia, heroin lives. No need to bring up the needles. Be true to yourself, never waver in that. Always be good to your brother. Too many's gone by the death of a friend. And not enough songs about love. There's not enough songs about love in the world. There's not enough songs about love. There's not enough songs about love in the world. There's not enough songs about love. Now it appears that I have your attention. Wish we could all realize there's too many songs about thousands of lies. And not enough songs about love. There's not enough songs of love in the world. There's not enough songs about love. There's not enough songs of love in the world. There's not enough songs about love.
You know, this is one of those nights. What is up with this camera? I guess we won't be switching to that one. That's funny. And I didn't change anything, so I don't know why that's doing that. Oh my gosh. But anyway, hi. How are you? Whatever camera it is I'm looking at. Oh my God. Oh, welcome, all you lovely people. Welcome. Let's see. Hi to Adrian, Brian, Angel, Mai, Michelle, Damien. Oh, already with an interesting question there. Must be new to the stream. Sue, Krista, Joseph, Liam. Welcome back, Liam. Max, Christina, Carlos Mode, Joseph. Gosh, I'm like trying to name them off, but it's scrolling by. Welcome, Claudio B, Rita, All of you, nice to see you. I am the band. So I got this question a lot. Like, by the way, that song was one of my least favorite Abox songs of all time. However, it was the song that several record companies would have signed me for if I made it a single. That just goes to show you the state of the world in about, what was that? The early 2000s. Yeah, it's a true story. I got calls from record companies that thought, that's a radio hit. We will sign you and release it as a single. And I'm like, but that's the only song that is like that. So that was kind of funny. So hopefully. You did hear that I was playing a song, right, when it started? Right? I hope so, because otherwise we're in trouble. But, and the software is spitting out the wrong title, so I'm going to have to do that after the stream. I don't know why it does that. Have to look that up. It's all these ever. Have I ever met Tori Amos? No, I have not. Moment of silence. But anyway. Right? Late night. Oh my God. Imagine if I did a late night show. It would be so un-PC. It would be so bad. It would go out in a glory of fire, but it would kind of be fun to do it just once. Maybe I'll figure out a way to imagine if I was able to hack into the TV stations like Max Headroom did back in the 80s. That would be fun. Oh man, the things I'd do. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, welcome. Today's topic, if it decides to show itself, oh my God, is it going to actually show my, we're going to find out. Yeah, it's showing it. Good. So don't worry about the phone number because it's not working yet. Phone line is not on yet, but we're going to talk about the war of art. That's going to be the overreaching sort of topic for the evening. Anyway, it's been a week. So it was because Resistance beat me, not once, but twice this week, that I thought this needed to be made, because sometimes people think that once you get to certain levels, whatever that is, that you're not prone to things like writer's block or procrastination or self-defeating processes that actually hurt creativity, and that you're immune to all these things, and actually you're not. In fact, the more you do stuff, the more it seems to creep in to try to stop you. And I'm speaking, of course, of resistance. So the first thing I want to talk about before I play something else, it is what Wes says, mental constipation. It is, but it's not. It's not that you're not inspired, because obviously you might be working on an album and have 10 tracks that you need to be working on, and recording bits for it, or you have to do a mix job, like you're working on a painting, or you're thinking about starting a bakery and using all your grandmother's recipes as the fodder for the bakery. So it's not that you need the inspiration, because already you have something that you're going to do. So I don't like to call it lack of inspiration, because sometimes there's just plain old work that has to be done and we put it off. And there's a million reasons why you could put it off. And the funny part is that some of them make a lot of sense. You may indeed be suffering from some sort of I don't know, you're burned out or you're feeling like there's too much work or like there's too much going on in your life. And I think that, yeah, I could blame it on social media and distractions, preoccupations with so many different things, as someone said, preoccupation. I could agree with half of that statement. Um, but it seems to be, if you've ever read The War of Art, there's a very interesting dissertation in that book. And by the way, The War of Art is a book written by Steven Pressfield. Very good book. I have never read the book. So this is what's going to be funny to you people. I've never read the book. What I did is I had an audio version of the book, and it was read by, I want to remember the guy's name. Something Waddell. It'll come to me. But the guy who reads the book he's got a really tough love sergeant type of voice. And I remember the first time I popped the CD into my car to listen to it. It was because I was taking a lot of trips during the day, and I thought, I don't have time to read it, but everyone's recommending this version, so I'm going to get it. Well, let me tell you, don't bother with the book. Go find the audio version, especially if you're creative. Play it in your car, play it on your phone while you're doing your jog or whatever it is you do. Listen to it on headphones, and you'll understand. It's almost like you've got a really good mentor guiding you through the processes, and it's very good. And the concepts, obviously, it's the same as the book, but it's different when you listen to it because, unlike a book, and this is an interesting topic I wanted to bring up, sometimes, like if you're reading fiction, for example, you get into the story. If you're into reading, you'll get into the story. You'll get in the book. When it comes to, I'm sorry, this mic is driving me crazy. Please don't make more noise. Thank you. When you're reading a book that's supposed to help you with some creative aspects of your life or any type of self-help kind of thing, there's this tendency of like reading a chapter and going, oh yeah, that's an interesting technique. I'll have to try that when I'm done reading the book. Meaning it's always happening post-book. There's a lot of people who will read it and say, oh yeah, the book is so good. It taught me exactly what was wrong with my creative process. And then I'll ask them, so what are you doing about it? And they're like, I don't know. Now that I've read the book, I'm all screwed up. So they're not getting the point. So that's why I thought I would bring it up today as what the point of that book is. We'll get into the meat of it. But I'm going to urge you that if you're a creative, and when I say creative, I don't mean that you have to have aspirations to be a singer or a songwriter or, whatever. It's any inspiration. Like if you want to, like I said, open a bakery using your grandmother's recipes, or you want to open a new business, or you want to record a record, or you want to paint, or just do damn well at whatever it is you do, or what you think you were meant to do, I strongly urge that you get the audio version of that book, because it is, quite frankly, the best thing that has ever happened to me. So anyway, the first part we're going to get into is resistance. By definition, resistance is self-sabotage. Sorry. My jaw's all screwed up. I just got out of the shower, by the way. I know you can't tell, but I did. I literally was running late today. But yeah. Alik on Facebook says, I have the paperback. Yeah, get the audiobook. You'll understand believe me, you'll understand when you hear it on a jog or in your car. It's going to make 10 times more sense. And I read a lot of books. It's actually one of those things that shouldn't be read. I feel it's like something that should be ingrained into your skull. Um, in this case, resistance is not futile. It's quite good at its job. But the main tenet of resistance is this: it's self-sabotage. But it comes in many forms, and it's almost protean, like the book says. It'll just keep coming. No matter what you do, you're never going to beat it. It's not something that you can win. It's not a war that you win. It's a battle that you have to fight every single day. So it's a very interesting thing because every person that has creativity has it. And it's very difficult to put into words, in my own interpretation of it, how crazy resistance is. But I'm going to get into it because, like I said, for 2 days, it beat me, and it beat me in the funniest ways. And it almost surfaced, I felt, like the onset of a depression. And I thought, like, why am I feeling depressed? I have shows. I've had great shows. What's going on? Like, what's happening to me, And the truth was that the only thing that was really happening is I was putting off mastering or remastering the Hope album because I had expectations in my head that I probably couldn't fill. And so I was thinking to myself, well, if I am not able to do it, what's going to happen to the release? And so I would talk myself out of coming into the studio to even attempt it. And no, Steven, it's not the one narrated by the author. It's definitely not. I'm going to find it when I play the next song. It's not the one narrated by Steven Pressfield. He has a different kind of voice. He sounds too smooth dad-like. The guy who did it sounds like he's from Brooklyn. He sounds like a sergeant, and he's amazing. And it's a different version of the book. Do not get that one. George Guidall, that's the guy's name. That's the guy who narrates it. So it's, Steven Pressfield, narrated by George Guidall. That's the version you want. Trust me. That's the one you want. But anyway, so resistance comes in many forms. It could be that, for example, you have dishes to wash. You didn't do your laundry yet. Your room's a mess. You haven't cleaned it. And so you go, well, I'm going to clean everything first. And once the house is nice and clean, then I'm going to get to work. So you clean the house. I did that. Then everything's nice and tidy. And then you're like, this headphone cable, I think this one's the one that had a short. Let me find another adapter for it and make sure that I've got an extra one because I may need it. Oh, yeah. I may want to check these mixes on several headphones. Not that I ever do that. More than 2, actually. But this time I might. So let me find and dig out from the studio this headphone mixer I have that I haven't broken out in like 20 flipping years. But we'll go look at it. Dig that out. Let's go, let's try to hook that up. And then, for whatever reason, it's lunchtime. I should eat. I should eat something. It wouldn't do me any good to remaster the record on an empty stomach because then I might be cranky. And if I'm cranky, I might not do the job right. So it makes sense. I do have to eat. Obviously, eating is important. Shoot, I should take my vitamins too. And make sure, oh man, that's right. I'm supposed to go buy some vitamin D. I don't have any. I know. We'll take a trip with the car. We'll go get lunch. Go get the vitamin D. Have lunch. Have a nice full stomach. Write out everything that I need to do for the mastering job. Then when I come back, do you see what's going on here? You're just putting it off. Because it's just my way. But it can take the form of procrastination. It can take the form of self-doubt. Resistance can take the form of criticism towards yourself, criticism that's come from others that you let get to you. You know, someone said, "Oh, that album sucked anyway. Why would you bother?" Oh man, should I care? Should I bother? So, you know, all of this stuff. And it's funny because I see some people on YouTube saying that it's classic ADHD, but it's not, because you could be a perfectly focused individual and yet for the creative part remain completely unfocused. Um, so although I would say that ADHD could be part of it and definitely makes it worse, even the most focused individual who says, you know, it's gonna it's gonna be this thing that I'm gonna do. But here's what I think resistance really is. And it's a really funny thing because when I heard that audio version of the book, there's a tiny little explanation that resonated with me. And I'm going to tell you when we come back, because I'm going to play a song, what I believe resistance really is and where it comes from. And it's a little esoteric. So we're going to go down a strange, pseudo spiritual, scientific rabbit hole. But anyway, let's play a song. I'm going to play something. Oh, so this week, I'm diverting here for a little bit, but this week I've been working on the Hope album's 30th anniversary, and it was really hard, which is why I think Resistance got me. But one of the things I was looking for was all the different B-sides that we never got around to recording for that album that were just sort of strange. So tonight I'm going to play some of those. But anyway, I'm going to play a song. This is called And More. And this appeared on the Dance CD5, but not in this format. Anyway, I'll play that. It's a short little thing. And then I'll come back and tell you what I think resistance really is. Ooh, that camera. Let me fix this. What is up with you, camera? Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. You're in the right spot now. Thank you. Well, sort of. There you go. Gosh, that's weird. So, I'm going to tell you what I think resistance is. Um, I believe that it's related to an ego-centric part of our brain, probably our reptilian brain, which is back here somewhere, that still has instinctual urges to survive, and creative endeavors are very risky. Let me explain to you what I mean. We evolved in many different ways, but there's still a primitive part of us that when we see danger, we go into fight or flight. Um, so we learned, for example, that if you went to clearing X, you could be eaten by a lion. So you avoided that and you told everyone else to avoid it. Um, and I believe resistance is related to that part of the psyche, that part of the ego, because the ego wants things to be exactly as they are. Um, its functions, besides the conscious parts, is to keep you going. It makes sure that you're breathing, the subconscious parts of the ego. Make sure that you're breathing, makes sure that you're intaking food, that you're going to the bathroom, that your heart's running, etc., etc., etc. However, it also believes, the ego, that creative endeavors are very risky. They're risk factors. Think about it. If you want to become a singer in a band, you may have to eventually quit your job. That means no stability. If you write a poem and nobody likes it, you may never get published. If you start that bakery company and nobody but you liked your grandmother's recipes. Yeah, I don't know why that one's in my head, but it is. Sorry, this mic. What are you doing today? Is it me? Sorry about that. I'll just lean in. That'll be better. Sorry. But yeah, so the ego wants things to be or stay the way they are. What else does the ego believe? The ego believes in death. You're alive and you're going to die. So everything has to be a prevention of death as much as possible. So going outside might be a problem. Going on photographic journeys might be a problem. Going to get art supplies might be a problem. Whereas structured things like going to work, how come we don't have resistance when it comes to work? We might be late, but we show up. We go to work, we punch in, we do our jobs, we get paid at the end of the week. So why couldn't we apply that same mentality to everyday things like, I'm going to get up and draw today? Like, why can't I get up at 9 o'clock in the morning and just draw? So these little subtleties are what I think controls it. So of course, when you come up with a creative endeavor, it rears its ugly head. It marshals up its forces and it just attacks you. And it'll keep you from doing your work. So this week, it was interesting because I saw a producer that I worked with, and we don't need to mention names, but I saw a post that he made. Thank you, Claudio, by the way, for bringing that to my attention. Where even someone as successful as he was, or is, was suffering from this idea that you're not good enough, that sometimes you work on records or you do these productions and you do mixes and you hate them. You feel like this is the worst thing I've ever done. I don't know how I've even survived this long doing it, and these kinds of thoughts come into your head. And it was surprising to see this type of post from someone like that because you don't expect it. But it sort of jarred me loose because I was facing the same thing. I was telling myself, without telling myself, that getting into this project was too big, and that it was too overwhelming, and that better I put it off until I find more help. And although there's validity to that statement, it's actually not true. Because if I actually did the work, meaning that I said, well, what can I do to fast track at least parts of a project that I have to work on? I would actually be ahead no matter what it is, right? Claudia says, like I mentioned, it echoed what you talked about several times. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, but I was glad that you brought it up because as you saw, it made me go to his post, recommend The War of Art. And of course he'd read it. And that was good. But again, I'm going to stress, find the version narrated by George Guidall, because that's the version that you definitely want to listen to that version. So that afternoon, I had wasted the entire day from the time I woke up till about 4:30, knowing exactly what I was going to do. I put it off the entire day. And it wasn't until I saw his post and I started to think about it that I thought to myself, well, am I suffering from a sort of onset of some sort of depressive state? Like, am I going into like a depression cycle or something? Or is this some sort of unconscious thing I'm fighting that I don't know what the hell it is? So I got in my car because I told you what I was going to do. Go get lunch, go get the vitamins, all that stuff. So I went and did all that. And as I was driving, I decided to pop in that disc. And wouldn't you know it, the first thing that happened was a story that Steven Pressfield tells, or George Guidall, whatever. The story that's told. Sorry, my mind is everywhere tonight. Was that he'd been driving. He'd been driving a cab. He'd been living in a shitty apartment in New York City. Hadn't written anything for months. He said that he had come home and he couldn't make up any excuses as to why he wasn't writing. So he said he dug out his typewriter. He decided to type out anything that would come out, and it was complete trash, which he promptly threw into the garbage can. He said, I want you to understand, I hadn't written anything that was valuable at all. Nothing of what I had done was good. It was just, it seemed like the most pointless thing to do. And he said, then I went into the kitchen. And in the kitchen sat 10 days worth of dishes. To my surprise, he says, I had enough energy left over from writing that I decided to wash the dishes. And as I was washing the dishes, he said, I started whistling. He said, and suddenly it dawned on me, I'm going to be okay. From this moment on, I'm going to be okay. He understood at that moment that it wasn't about, did I write something good? Did I come up with something great? Did I just write the next greatest American novel? No. What he did was he just did the work. He sat down to do his work. And when he sat down to do his work, floodgates opened. Hence, he washed the dishes. He was whistling. It completely brought him back to his center. Because once you start working, the ego stops. It can't help it. It just goes, he's going to do that thing he does. Okay, I might as well recede. And it recedes in the background. What happens when it recedes? Well, that's the interesting part. When the ego recedes from you, when it's pulled away and you don't have that reptilian ego brain telling you that, you're not good enough and you shouldn't be doing this, once you're actually doing the work, that is when the inspiration starts to come. That's when the muses light up on your shoulder and start whispering things in your ear. And that's when you get ideas for songs. That's when you get ideas for real good things. And it doesn't stop there. Even if you finish the work, things continue. So anyway, there I was driving, completely overwhelmed, thinking that I'd wasted the entire day. And after I was listening to that story, again, on the audiobook, it dawned on me that it was probably just the ego trying to tell me that you're tackling something that now is loved by people. You're tackling a project that's 30 years old. What business do you have messing with it? Like I could hear now those interesting little voices in the back of my head. And at that moment, I got some strength from listening to the story and going, no, we're going to go home. We're going to dig out all those tracks and we're going to sit with them. If nothing happens and I can't make them sound better, if nothing else happens, I'm still going to do it. So that's exactly what happened. I came home. I literally stopped everything else that I was even thinking about doing or procrastinating on, turned on the studio, got to work, and wouldn't you know it, not only did I master the album last night, but I stayed up, did the Bandcamp version. I wound up doing a mixtape version. I wound up revisiting all the B-sides. Then I switched gears around 9 o'clock at night and I went into the album that I'm currently working on, which is a current project, listened to all the tracks there to make notes, and found myself going through some folders that I'd forgotten about, found B-sides for that record. This in a span of just a few short hours. And that, my friends, that is how it happens. You have to sometimes just say, yeah, I'm waiting for inspiration, but inspiration strikes at 9 a.m. or whatever time you set for yourself. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down and do my work. And this other thing happened. So anyway, I'm going to play a song and then I'm going to show you things that are not in the book, that are techniques that I've kind of picked up on my own to get out of the ego thing. Because the book only has one solution, which is go do your work. And of course, that is my solution. Go do your work. I'm always going to say that. Go do your work. However, sometimes you have to bypass the ego to do your work. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very interesting little tricks. I've talked about them before, but I think I'm going to get into them a little bit more detail here. But anyway, and then I'll open the phone lines. So this week, busy bee that I did when I did work this week, Tuesday was good, for example. So while Wednesday and Thursday were a complete disaster or messes until the very end, Tuesday was actually pretty good. I minted stuff, and I put a mixtape out on Tezos, and I'm going to play a song, well, a version of a song that's on there. And then when we come back, I'll start opening the phone lines after I, give you my little take. But this is called Someone's Taken Over Me, which is interesting that I wrote a song like that. I analyze my own stuff and I think, was that about resistance? Even though I didn't know what the hell that was. But it's very interesting. Listen to the lyrics. But anyway, Someone's Taking Over Me. This is a DJ mix that I did when I was in lockdown from a tape. And I'm talking too much. Sorry.
Camera, see it take a picture. Look at the image of my fragile face. I'm not the man that I used to be. Someone has taken over me. He uses my hands. He uses my eyes. But he's not the person that I want to be. There's someone taking over me, and he's in control. There's someone taking over me, and he's in control. I want to run, I need to escape. I want to run, I need to feel like myself. Look in the horizon, the sun is falling downward. My images of pain will coexist. Look into my eyes, see they're not my eyes. Older and colder they become. They used to see the world, they used to see the beauty. Now they only gaze upon decay. There's someone taking over me, and he's in control. There's someone taking over me, and he's in control. Look into the factory, feel its breath on you. Cornered in a vacuum of what we call existence. What is it worth to us all? Person that I had inside will bury me alive, but I've got to get some air before I have to die. There's someone living inside of me, and I can't resist him. There's someone living inside of me, and I can't get away. There's someone living inside of me, and I won't get away. There's someone living inside of me. I want to run, I want to hide, I want to escape, I want to feel like myself. But there's nobody home.
Ha! That's so funny. Almost missed that cue. Woo! I almost missed that cue. So yeah, I found the link. That's not like a funky link. I had to go look for it and I found it. So that's the Amazon one. But it's George Guidall is the guy reading it, and he sounds like a sergeant, man. Like, it's awesome. He's so awesome. He's like my guru. I put that on in the car I drive, and quite honestly, it changes me every time. It has that effect on me every time. I'm not doing it justice at all. Especially when I'm like live and having to do cameras and stuff, and I get a little nervous. This is not pre-recorded, by the way. All this is live as I'm doing it. There's no pre-recorded video or anything, so it's tough. And it's not my forte. It's not what I'm used to. It's very different than being on stage. But anyway, I digress. Great book, but get the audio version because it is the shit. It's so good. So, we were talking about techniques. So, one of the first things that I learned on my own that works, and actually it worked yesterday really well, See, the idea of going to get lunch and getting the vitamins and all that stuff wasn't a bad idea. Um, what I realized um, as I was driving back was this is really funny. I'm going to show you. Is that I had just gotten I don't know if I could. Oh, yeah, I had just gotten a lens for my camera, and I forgot that it was in my car. I hadn't even opened it yet. It's like some cheapy lens that I hadn't tried yet. And so when I got in the car to go get lunch, I saw that that lens was there, and I was like, "Oh my god, I have to, I have to try that lens out. I haven't even done that." That's how busy I am, by the way. So as I was driving back, my treat was to myself was, don't put the lens on the camera, don't take a single photograph, go do the mastering job, and if you get at least an hour of that stuff done, then you can go check out the lens. So the lens was sitting right here on my desk, kind of looking at me while I was doing the mastering job. Then the lens disappeared. It just literally vanished into thin air. I couldn't see it anymore. In fact, I couldn't see anything. The only thing I could see was the waveforms in front of my face. And when I was done, and it was midnight, because it was literally midnight, I think was my last post from last night. It was around midnight. I put the lens on the camera, and even then I didn't take a picture. It was sort of like, damn, I got that done. And it's midnight. It's time for bed now, but I did it. I beat it. I punched resistance in the face, and it worked. So, rewards work. They do work. So, one reward that you can give yourself is, if you really want to watch TV, if you really want to watch a movie, well, put 4 hours in. If you can put 4 hours in and you get those 4 hours done, give yourself permission. Now you can watch that movie. You did 4 hours. You could do something. Now you can sit there and watch YouTube for half an hour while you have your lunch, as you're having your lunch. But the minute that alarm bell goes off, you're going back to work. Does it always work? No. But rewards do help. So that's one. That's one that I've used in the past, and it worked yesterday. It's just one of those weird things. It just worked. But the reason that particular thing works is because I trade one creative act for another. So on Monday, I was drawing, and I started an entire new series that has nothing to do with the music stuff. But what was cool is that at least I could lean in on the drawings and say, well, I'm drawing. And I was still drawing. Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much for those super chats. Juan, thank you so much for that. And there was one more up top, and I just saw it. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much for that. That is really awesome. OP8, thank you so much. Thank you for those super chats. They really help. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So it worked. The reward thing works for me because I have two creative things. Well, I have several creative things. I'm literally a crazy person. If you haven't figured that out yet, it's about time you figured it out. I'm a crazy person. If I'm not drawing, I'm taking pictures. If I'm not taking pictures, I'm making noise. If I've made noise, took pictures, wrote lyrics, I'm singing. So there's always something going on in my brain that is always wanting to be engaged. However, this could be dangerous because it's very easy for me to sit and doodle for 6 hours, knowing full well that today's job was to master a record, or to scan 50 paintings that I had to paint, scan 50 paintings from 1993 that I haven't touched. So, because who wants to do all the grunt work stuff, right? So it's very easy to get, if you're a multi-creator, to get effed up in the way that things aren't working. And you're like, I should be doing this, but this is so shiny. So he doesn't really address that in the book because he's thinking you're just a writer or you're just a painter or you're just drawing. So this, in our day and age, um, those lines are blurring because if you're an independent artist, um, you're probably doing music, you're probably doing art, you're probably doing, getting into the NFT space. If you're a photographer, you're definitely going to get into the web space and be doing stuff. So there's obviously things that interlock, and one creative thing could actually be used against you to keep you from the real work that you're supposed to be doing on another creative endeavor. So that's a troublesome aspect of it. So rewards are good. You'll get this or you'll go back to this as long as this other thing gets done. So that's a good one. It works. Another, which is my favorite solution, and I swear I'm going to write a book about this someday. Someday when I have more time to do other things. Yeah, I'll sit down and write a book about it. But in case I don't, I'm going to give it to you now. One of the things I love to do is to have experiences. I call it the experiential approach. So the idea is this. If you're supposed to be writing music and you sit at the same room with the same gear day after day, chances are you're going to get bored. And this is when you start like going through catalogs to find like, the latest and greatest gear. And, oh, maybe if I buy that synth or that drum machine, or maybe if I buy that plugin, I'll get inspired to do some writing. 90% of all musicians that are doing work in their studios that look like sort of like what you're seeing around me, like this thing, like I have like, keyboards all over here. I've got controllers. I've got stuff underneath in the racks. I've got stuff in the closet. I've got so much stuff. I have so much gear that I would definitely not need a new synthesizer. No matter how good it is, I don't need it. I wouldn't need a new sampler, but I'm drawn to gear to try to inspire myself, which is what, we all say, right? So one of the things I did that solved that problem for me is to have experiential things happen to me. What that means is I'm not feeling the keyboards today. Then what I'm going to do, grab that camera, I'm going to take a walk, and I'm going to shoot random pictures of random things, whether it's street, like doing some street photography, or take out a really strange lens that I have that is just odd and just go out there and shoot bugs, whatever it is. I'm just going to shoot weird things. There's no real reason to do it, meaning I'm not hyper focused on like, oh, I need to find a really good defining shot. The idea is that by having the experience of having walked, simultaneously thinking about the music stuff, meaning, why didn't I feel inspired when I was sitting at the keyboards today as I'm shooting? What happens is that the experience of being out of the comfort zone of the studio suddenly gets your blood pumping. So when you come back, meaning when you come back from that little outing, chances are if you sit down, you'll play something. Doesn't mean you're going to write the best stuff in the world. You might not write anything, but at least you'll play without that feeling of it's drudgery, like, that I'm dreading this moment because there's nothing in my head. You're going to be thinking about the pictures you took. You're going to be thinking about the walk itself. You're going to be thinking about the experience that you had. If you make the experience really cool, like I'm going to go somewhere I've never been, like a city I've never explored, that's near me, that I've just never been there, and see what's there. That kind of thing will help. So Brian says, nothing wrong with a shiny new gadget. Sometimes it's not the gadget, but a new subject or activity. Exactly. So sometimes learning the new gadget will help. So I'm not going to say don't go buy gear. However, if you find yourself buying gear all the time, but not using it, meaning it was shiny out of the box. It made the cool sounds, and you half made a song, but you never went back to finish it. And you're just now buying another shiny thing, hoping that it does a better job than the previous shiny thing. It's not working. That's resistance. I've met a lot of people, and I'm telling you, I've met a lot of people who are talented musicians who said, the minute that I get a recording device, I will record an album. And I'm like, you can get a DAW for less than $60. You can get a DAW for free that you can use for free. Really? No. It has to be Pro Tools because that's what the pros use. I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be Pro Tools. You can go download Reaper right now and start laying down that guitar. Oh, but I don't have an interface. Yes, you do. You bought one last year. It's $100. It has a guitar input. Plug your guitar in, start recording something. No. I'm going to wait till I have Pro Tools. They work for 4 years. They finally get their Pro Tools rig, and they don't record a single thing. They're like, no, this version, it's the new version, so much better. There's so much more plugins. I'll start my record when I get that. And 10 years later that I've known such people, and this is true, they've never recorded a thing. Nothing's been released. Not a single risk was taken. The ego, that risk mitigating thing in the back of their head, will keep them mired in that. Got to have the new shiny gadget in order to begin. That's the trap. That's how you know you're in the trap. If you're constantly buying gear, you're in the trap. Yes, you would be exactly like Illicit Pulse on YouTube says. You keep chasing the white rabbit. Yeah, there's no such thing. Like because you'll never catch it. That's the problem. It'll always be ahead of you. So I find it interesting that sometimes I just give myself little challenges. So the challenges that I like to give myself, this is another tool that I like to use, is I'll say, I want to open up Drum Machine X and I'm going to make a song only using one sound. It's got to be one sound only. It's got to be that sound manipulated in 20 different ways, but that one sound is going to make a track, whether I like it or not. And it's a funny thing because, of course, once you start doing it with that challenge in mind, then other things come out. And then you're like, oh, man, like, okay, I got something going. And, of course, you'll break the rule and say, no, I need a bass line now. I need something else. And then, sure enough, you're working. Again, it doesn't have to be great. It just has to be work. It has to be consistent. The more consistent you are showing up, the more chances that something will happen that's really good. And I'm going to show you something that happened to me this week that was kind of badass. But I was like, I'm so grateful that it happened because, like I said, Wednesday and Thursday, I was not in a good place. I was like really struggling, and I realized like, man, you're not overworked. You're not overwhelmed. You're not without time. What's happening is you are in the throes of resistance. You're losing the battle. Hi, Geo Novel on Facebook says hello. And Alfonso is on the house saying hi. I'm trying not to read the chats because then I get more distracted. Jeff Fleming says, totally get... Why don't you just call me, Jeff? Hold on. Phone line's open. You can call in and like make a comment and whatevs. But I'll read what Jeff said. He says, I totally get the gear thing. As a filmmaker, writer, and producer, when I get stuck in the process, I tend to look at buying more camera production gear to distract me from the block. It never does. Thankfully, I have disciplined myself and stopped doing that, though it's not a natural mindset. That's the key, Jeff. You got it. You hit it right on the nail. It is not a natural mindset. In fact, it goes counter to our evolutionary process. Believe it or not, creativity is always part of the human experience. However, it normally would take the backseat to the ego. So to flip the two is very unnatural for us to do. It's so much easier for us to be told what to do by someone and just do it, than it is to say, I'm going to start a new business venture and I'm starting today. Like it's that, like that is the most difficult thing for us to do because the ego is against such things. So, which is funny because you get such gratification when you actually complete a project. When you finish a painting, when you actually finish a song or an album is done, you get such a feeling of like, wow, like I slayed that dragon, man. It's like, there it is. It's laying at my feet. I did that, so it's weird how that happens, Anyway, I think the phone's working. Oh, don't know. Someone will have to call me and find out. But I'm going to play a song. And then when I come back, I'll open up the phone line proper. I'm going to play one of the songs that was literally during the Hope era, would have been on the Hope album, but this particular demo was leading me onto a path with the album that would not have worked. The Hope album could have been a very different album if I'd gone the route of the B-sides, which was much more moody. But anyway, I'm going to play the song, and then when I come back, I'll take phone calls, and then you guys can start calling me in and do your thing, that thing that you do. All right. This is called Listening to the Sun. So Adrian is asking on YouTube, will the new Hope release be on vinyl? The answer to that question is no. Because it doesn't really fit on vinyl. We had to cut it down quite a bit when we did the Russian version, and I don't want to leave things out because Hope was recorded and intended as a CD release, so it wouldn't fit on vinyl. And I'm not going to do a double vinyl thing. It wouldn't make sense. I'm doing a book for Hope, so it's going to be a book. And the book will have a CD in it. And it's going to be like 40 pages. So you don't get vinyl, but you get lots and lots of art in a very limited edition. And that will be my send off to its 30th year. Although there's going to be an EP that's going to be on vinyl, and it'll have at least 2 Hope songs on it, because that we might do. We're thinking about it. So anyway, but that, but you'll see. Yep. Brian, there's going to be some funny stuff on there. We'll get into that later. So I wanted to show you something. So I have this journal that was, for the most part, empty. And I had taken it out I don't know, Sunday? No, because last week. Yeah, last week or so. And as you can see, the pages are almost coming off, right? So it's not in the best condition that it could be in. And I had written in here that this journal is basically a throwaway, that I was going to stick it in the car, and if I felt like writing something, it would just be like scrap paper. So the idea was, this is really nothing. It means nothing. This book is it's basically I could throw it away. It's going to be, oh no, Brian, you're fine. Don't worry. I have such sights to show you. Oh God, that was Hellraiser. But you know what I mean? No, I do not need more journals. I definitely do not. In fact, here, let me show you something even funnier than this journal. Oh gosh, where are they? Oh, they're right here. Ha! Do I need journals? Ah, I can't even get them. They're all blanks. These are blank. All of them. Every single one of these is blank. I do not need more journals. I definitely do not. I do not need to buy them. I don't need to be doing anything with them. But the reason I'm bringing up this particular one is because it's small. So I thought, oh, I'll just stick this in the car, and it'll be this throwaway, non-important book, because like I said, all the pages are coming out. But see, then this happened on Monday. I started drawing in it, and I wasn't intending to draw in it because I don't normally draw that much in line journals. And just watch what happened. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 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 Wednesday. Do you see that? That's all one day. One day of just drawing and notes and just making notes. And they're complex. I'm not joking. There's a whole series in here. So this book, this dumb little book, is now one of the most important books I've got because it has all these starter drawings and stuff. I'm like, holy cow. And you know what? Why did this happen? Why? Why did this happen? What elicited this activity? And I was thinking about it again yesterday when I was in the car. And so, oh, thank you, Liam. You can actually. I'm gonna make some prints soon, and then you'll be able to buy prints. Although I have I do have a Redbubble account, but I haven't put any new things on there. I'm going to start filling up, doing prints and stuff. But anyway, why did this happen? What caused so much drawing to happen? Well, it was a challenge that I made to myself that I would take something and try to do reversal drawings. And it was just a challenge. And because I made that challenge to myself, I wound up trying to do it better every time. And I think that in a day, I drew over 12 things. So that, to me, that tells me that, like I was speaking with, where did you go, Brian? Because Brian said something very profound, and I want to share. Oh, Jeff, sorry. Jeff said this. He said the ego has a lot to do with it. The belief is that the block can't possibly have anything to do with me. It has to be something external that's missing. Hence, the need to look forward to the next new shiny bit of gear for the answer. And that's exactly right. There's a secret there. So rather than going out and, let's say, buying a drawing tablet or going to the art supply store to buy, a specific type of paint, I decided I have a raggedy book with nothing to do. And the challenge is I'm going to draw something with only a ballpoint pen, and I'm going to see how good I can make it go. And that's what happened. That is literally what happened. Because I put that challenge to myself, I realized the block, whatever the block is that's blocking me from working on the music side of things, definitely doesn't have a problem with this. So why am I not working on the music side of it or the book? Because, it's a complicated thing. So a book is very complicated, by the way. So a lot of it has to do with it's just so much work that it's easier to do the less worky thing to do, which is let me find something new to try. So anyway, it did mess with my head. And so Thursday, like I said, was pretty terrible, but at least I can say that I was able to go back to the thing and work. And it turned out to be a really good thing to do because I've been putting off the other one, which is new. And I think there was no reason to. So I'm back and I'm going to start going back to work on all those things because it's important to me. But to give you a bit of trivia about the Hope 30th year anniversary thing, that was really interesting, at least to me. It might not seem like much, but I noticed that the day that I decided to actually work on remastering the album may have been the same exact day 30 years ago that I actually finished the album. So that is really interesting. So that's trippy. That you're mastering the album or remastering the album 30 years later on the same day that it was released. So I found that really crazy. So that happened last night. So that part's done. Now I just have to get all the paintings and page layouts done and all that stuff. But at least, it's happening. So, like I said, I beat resistance yesterday, but it's a war. And it's not a war that you're going to win. It's a war that must be fought every day. So that's the big takeaway here, is that you're going to have to fight that battle every single time you approach a blank canvas or a blank piece of paper or, a new text document if you're going to, write a book. Every time you show up at the page, there's going to be something somewhere that wants to try to stop you. So the best solution, do it anyway. Like, fight your ego. Do it anyway. Sorry, my chat is not adhering to my needs. Sorry. Sending me love says, sounds like you tapped into a flow state. Yep. That's what happened. I definitely, and I'm glad you brought that up. A flow state, when you get into a flow state, completely obliterates the ego. It destroys it. It sends it to the back of the room. It's like it won't show up. Those are those days where you'll work in the studio till 3 a.m. Those are the days when you'll be working on a painting and you realize that you missed 2 meals. Those flow states are the best state to be in, but you won't get into those flow states if you don't show up. So, you know, Sending Me Love says, when I have writer's block, I'll have a show. Oh, I can't read it right because the text got all messed up on that chat. I don't know why I can't. That's funny. You may have to cut and paste that. Liam says, remember when Red Flag did Naive Dance? How about a remix album of Hope? Kind of did it because we did Dance CD5, which had all the remixes. And I'll probably re-release the CD5, even if it's on Bandcamp. But as far as vinyl goes, I have a very strange relationship with vinyl. So believe me, Robert's trying to convince me to do a vinyl EP. So if I do it at all, it's going to be something like that, but I don't know that, that'll work for me yet. I want to pursue the book idea. There's something about the book that I need to do it. So, and of course for the new album, let's not forget I'm working on that too. But I listened to that last night. It was like, all right, you're doing okay. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you taking so long? So, ooh, Brian, I like what you wrote there. Brian on YouTube says, in photography, one can go to a location and take a single picture. The photograph is the result of multiple trips to the same location. Yeah. Yep. I'm sure that it does apply to other subjects. Absolutely does. Hence experiential experiences or experiential work, as I call it. But anyway, I can stop talking and you guys can start calling. So I'm going to just take a mental break while I drink this tea and I play a song. But feel free to call. If you need to know what the number is, I will put it on the screen. And yeah, feel free. Feel free to make that call. You can ask me anything, by the way. It doesn't have to be on topic. But anywho, getting back to the work. So if you want to know what I did for mastering purposes, I'll tell you what I did not want to do. I wanted to source the master from the very first mix of the album, meaning I didn't want to take it from any other release or any other version of it other than the original cardboard files. Those were the original Hope album files. So I wanted to source it from there. So the first thing I did was I converted them to 32-bit float for the techies out there that want to know. And the idea was simply correcting in a non-destructive way. All I wanted to do was clean things up so that it would sound more open and a little punchier. But I did not want to go completely berserk and overcompress it and make it super loud and all this other stuff. I didn't want to get into those territories. I think part of my own fear was that I would, because I would say, well, it's a 30-year-old song. Could definitely use more punch. Let's stick, a multi-band compressor on it and bring that kick, out, and let's make the bass. Let's do this. And, there's a lot of things I could have done, but I didn't want to do that stuff to the album because the way I'm thinking of it is it's last anniversary. I don't want to revisit it again after this is done. I want this to be the last version of it that is ever released. And if there's more to be made, it'll be off of that master. So I wanted it to be something that was super clean, that sounds or gives it respect, so that someone who's had, the album and lived with it for a long time won't feel like they don't recognize it. I wanted them to be like, wow, it sounds clearer. I can hear things better, but it's not ruined. It's not super crazy loud. And, so I was able to clean it up quite a bit by doing so little. So I was quite proud of myself when I was done, because I thought I did it. I actually did it. And it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. The other approach, of course, was to take it song by song and remaster every single song in the same way. But I didn't want to do that because the mastering engineer. Oh, that's a nice question. I'll get back to that one. 2 questions. Ooh. Yeah, I wanted to do it a good service. So I wanted the album to be intact. And then the other thing I didn't want to do was the first version of this that I started to put together, it was going to have photographs of all the different packaging and all that stuff. I didn't want to do that either because I don't want to turn it into like a tribute to the album, because that's kind of, I don't know. I feel that's lame. I wanted to basically say everything that I know about this record now. What would I have done? Like what else would have been done with it? Meaning the song order's the same, cover slightly different because I cleaned it up, but the original cover's there. The original scan of the cover with all my notes are there. The alternate covers that I painted that no one ever saw, those are going to be in there. The different photographs of the band that we took to do the funny coloring things are in there. The lyrics that you had to send away for, they're all in there. So, it's going to be cool. Oh, Claudio, too bad you're leaving, but it's okay. Have an awesome flight and we'll catch up, man. You have to call me this weekend. We'll have to talk. But yeah, Adriel on YouTube says, any title for the book? The book is going to be called Hope. It's basically the album released as a book, which is exactly what I'm doing with the new album as well. So I'm working on 2 books at the same time, slightly different formats, but nonetheless, they're both going to be books. As far as the new album's concerned, it's called Notably Fractured Time. So I know, Wendy, you're asking. I was going to ask him, but I was like, I'm not going to just ask him where he's going. But I'm like, flight? What flight? I'm kidding. But anyway, at this juncture, I'm supposed to also tell you that I am playing in New York. I will be in Long Island on June 3rd. The link to that will be on the video tomorrow when when this is uploaded and all that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to Long Island on June 3rd. I'm so happy about that. I posted, of course, all the flyers and the relevant places, so you will see them. I posted them today, actually, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. So they're all there. But yeah, no, I'm dying to. So yeah, that's happening. And gives me time to work on the book, though, because the show is not until June. So it gives me a little time to kind of catch up And I'm going to do the best I can to get this done, especially the hope thing, because I want to get it. I don't mean to sound mean. I want to get it out of the way because it's old material and I have new stuff. And it's like, I got to get this done. And I still have a writing bug. So I think that some of the things that I was feeling was like, why am I working on old stuff when I should be working on new stuff? It's like, it's that push pull that you get, So I think that's where it came from. But at any rate, it was pretty bad. It culminated pretty bad last night, or early afternoon. But then it worked itself out. Anyway, let's play a song. Nobody's called. So I don't know if no one's called because, I don't know. Let me try something. I think maybe I did something. Because someone tried to call and it didn't go through. So far, so good. Hey, Steve, if you're listening, why don't you call me? I just want to make sure it's all working because something's going on here. So, yeah, I see nothing. Maybe something broke. Ha, you're so funny. Here's the number. Somebody call me. The number is 562-380-0626. Someone talk to me out there. Because I think it might be broken. I'm not sure. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Yeah. What it says right there. You guys are funny. But at any rate, while I'm waiting to see if it actually works. Oh, it is working.
Call from.
Yeah, it's Steve. To
accept, press.
Hello?
Yeah, it's me.
You're on the air, Steve.
Yes, I know. You need to mention the other show too.
What other show?
You don't even know you have another show. Wow.
What show are you talking about?
Robert posted something.
Long Island.
No, something else.
Like in July or something?
Yes.
Oh God, I'm always the last to know. That's so funny and so random.
Hold on, let me put it in the chat. This is via Robert, so
that's so funny.
Check that. I think that's correct.
That's hilarious. No, I've been told, but
he posted it, so I'm guessing it's official.
Oh, wow. July 1st. Oh boy. And they use the same flyer. I gotta change that. That's so funny. This is what happens to you when you don't do the right thing. So I guess I'm playing in El Paso on July 1st with Channel 69. So awesome. So there you go. Oh man, it's on your screen. Newsflash. And the link will be in the chat tomorrow. In the description, sorry. That's cool. Funny, man. Cool. I'm always the one to know. But
all good.
Well, so someone's trying to call. So I'm gonna it worked.
Well, let's make sure somebody else calls in too. Give them a chance.
Yes.
I'd request the song, but I don't know what to request. So.
Yeah, tonight's a weird night anyway.
A weird night.
Yeah, it's all the weird songs. It's supposed to be all the B-sides. So I'm going to play something. Yeah, it's all B-side, weird stuff. So this particular... I'm going to play something. I need to play a song. I don't want to be seen. I feel embarrassed. I'm like, how could I not know? But it's because he told me about it, but I realized that it was official, or it became official today. I wasn't expecting it to become official till Monday.
That's
So
what
I
I'm
didn't
thinking.
mention
That's
it.
why you probably don't even know.
Yeah, that's what happened. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to play a song.
Very good. I'll let you go.
Thank you, Steve, for calling in.
Of
And
course. gotta pass
testing
along
the
that
phone
tidbit.
lines.
Awesome. Take it easy.
Bye. That's funny. So, one last chance to call in before I play a song. So, if one of you calls, I'll take the call. If no one calls, I'm playing a song. Which is funny. But I don't know. I don't know if Steve's going to that one, but Steve might go to the New York one. It's almost certain that he's going. But yeah, so there we go. Does the song Down count as a B-side? It sure does. It does count as a B-side. In fact, it's funny that you should mention that one, because out of all the ones that I thought I wasn't going to play, that one was one of them. But it's not because I don't like it. I actually like that song, but it's just, it was a different type of B-side. But since no one's calling, let's pull that up, because that's a funny one. There it is. Down. So before I play the song, I will tell you a funny story about it, which is kind of like what I like to do sometimes when I'm going to go play a song. Oh, the number. 562-380-0626. In fact, you should see it on your screen right now. But I've got the other song queued up, so it's all good. But yeah. So oh, there we go.
Call from.
Hola.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hola, Claudio. ¿Qué pasa?
That's funny, Pablo. Turn down your phone though, because you're on it's that radio station thing. You have to turn down your phone. Otherwise, you'll hear a long delay.
No te preocupes, estoy vacunado.
What's going on, Paul?
How are you, man? I just tuned in right now.
That's so funny. So I got Paul on the line. So what's going on, man? What's
Steve.
shaking?
I thought I don't know. You said no one's calling, so I'm like, I better call in. So here I am calling in.
It's like my friends are like, nobody's calling him. I better do something. Well, someone's trying.
Oh, nice.
Hold on.
Well, I don't want. Maybe I should get out of the way.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Call from.
The side of my love.
Hi, you're on the air.
Am I on the air?
Yeah, you are.
There must be a delay then.
It must be a delay. And I think I just hung up on Paul by accident. Sorry, Paul.
Sorry, Paul. Hey, Claude.
You can call back.
When you came to San Antonio the last time, whatever happened to the live video feed y'all or the recorded feed y'all had that night?
Oh, the film.
Yes.
Actually, I've been negligent because I have to call them and find out where they're at with the movie, or whatever it is that's happening. I need to find out where they're at with it. Because obviously I'm not the only artist in that movie. So I know they had to do other interviews with other people, and I know that they were still getting stuff. So I'm not sure where it's at, but I'm glad you brought it up, because I should probably get in contact with them to find out what's going on with that film.
No, for sure. I didn't realize it was you and other artists that were.
Yeah, no, I'm just
populated
I'm part of this movie, or whatever it is, whatever this project is. I'm one of like 6 artists in it. So So
Nice.
it's a movie on synthwave, like the synth pop era coming into the synthwave era. So there's a lot of different people in it. Um, so from some experimental artists that I'd never heard of to some people that are in the synthwave scene, like, you know, the Midnight and all that stuff. So yeah, it's like, and Tim
Well,
is
very cool.
asking me,
No, I was talking to my wife. I was talking to my wife about that. And I was like, you know what? I never saw that float up anywhere.
yeah, no, it's happening because either that or what's going to happen is that if nothing, I'll have the footage, of course, you know, but I have a feeling that because the interview bits and all that stuff is really, really awesome. So I'm hoping that they'll wrap right around the same time. I hope that I'm releasing the newer record.
Perfect.
So, you know, so I have no idea, you know, like I don't even know the scope of it yet. Like I only know hints of it. I'm not even supposed to talk about all the stuff I know about it, but all I can tell you is there's more than 6 artists involved in it, and they interviewed us in different parts of the country, and I wasn't the only one that they flew in to go to film their shows. So I have my 15 minutes of fame in that movie. It's
Very
gonna be cool though. It's cool. It's very interesting. Where they interviewed me was this synth museum that's in Austin, Texas, and it's where the guys from Stranger Things got their start. So
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been there
yeah,
before.
it's fantastic, man. So and that's where they
Definitely.
interviewed me. It was
Very
really,
cool.
really awesome. So I'm hoping, yeah, I'll have to. Thank you for bringing it up.
Of course,
Which,
that was a great night for sure.
thank you.
Well, I won't take any more time away from anybody else who might want to call in, but I mean, you know, anything you want to play is always good with us.
Thank you. So I'm gonna play a
All right,
song. So I'm gonna play a song that somebody requested called "Down." And since
Nice.
you're on the phone, I'm gonna tell you the story of the song. So I wrote this when I was playing with or opening for Paul Humphreys of OMD, and so I literally wrote this song in the back room. I had a guitar and I was writing it right there and then I recorded it when I got home, basically. And so I'm gonna play that song, and then it wound up being a B-side that we put on a disc. But that's the song I'm gonna play. It's called "Down." So there you go.
Very cool. Well, I appreciate you spending Friday night with us, and
I love
look
it,
forward to coming
man.
back.
I wouldn't trade it. I love doing this. It's nerve-wracking. It's scarier
it's
than
one of
being
the-
on tour, to be honest.
It's one of the many good things that came out of COVID. I'll tell you that.
Aw, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Of course. Thank you. All right, class. We love you, man.
Thank you so much. So here it is, "Down." I hope you got the story part.
Everything is turning black. Another minion on my back. A fallen puppet, I don't care. Only cross me if you dare. Everything is down. No fancy adjectives, just down. No candy coating, it's just down. No metaphors, it's simply down. My strings are cut and it's not fair. My lungs heave emptiness, not air. Without a shove I have no push. A fucking corpse, a burning bush. Everything is down. No fancy adjectives, down. No candy coating is just down. No metaphors, it's simply down.
I'm making it a twofer.
And you know, we must have this clang and rattle. We must, hour by hour,
It's a
remember.
twofer.
You are afraid, and that fear controls you, like walking on the fire. Blue and white edge burns you. You have to swim to keep going under. You have to fight, but you stop to ponder. You have to change 'cause you're going nowhere. You have to run 'cause you don't belong here. Change. I was afraid, only I felt stronger. Walking through the lines, I flirted with disasters. I had to swim with my pain shoved under. I had to fight to remove the blinders. I had to change, I was going nowhere. I had to run 'cause I don't belong here. Change. I am as you are quite like me. We both see the down of love's anxieties. I had to change, I was going nowhere. I had to run 'cause I don't belong here. I had to change, I was going nowhere. I had to run 'cause I don't belong here. You have to change 'cause you're going nowhere. You have to run 'cause you don't belong here. Change. You have to 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 change.
Ooh, almost didn't make it. And I didn't make it. Ooh. Ah, easy Sparky. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you all of you, by the way, who did the super chats. That's really, really, really cool. Thank you so much for that. It pays the bill, which is the streaming service thing. So awesome. Thank you. That's so funny. So yeah, so we're almost at the end. I can't believe it went by fast, but I think it's because I talked too much. I'm gonna try to talk less next time and try to like get more music in or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Something. But I put the phone line back on, so obviously if someone wants to call, you can. And if you don't know the number, it is 562-380-0626. You can call and I'll be happy to talk to you. But I hope you learned something. But more so than that, I hope that what you got out of it was that nobody's infallible. No matter where you are in the journey of creativity, literally you're going to have this problem, whether you're at the top of your game and you've released 20 albums, or this is your very first venture. You're always going to have these things happen to you. So I wanted you guys to know that most definitely it happens to me, and that I am not infallible in that sense, and that I go through these periods of roadblocks and, that kind of thing. Aw, thank you. Sending me love. And Brian, thank you for those super chats, man. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so awesome of you. Oh, we have another call.
Call from
Tim.
to accept.
Good evening, Tim. You are on the air.
WNBC.
Oh God, no.
So I had this thought because I was listening to Sirius XM, Pandora, Stitcher, whatever you want to call it, the other day, and so like Bowie's All the Young Dudes came on, and I realized I was singing it wrong. I was singing Conscious.
Which is funny. Yeah, I definitely took some inspiration from that track.
Oh no, I thought he did. I thought he was stealing from you.
No. That's an old song. Yeah, I wanted to use that type of it's a different key, obviously, but yeah, it definitely has it owes its debt.
Yeah.
That was my little ode.
Yeah, so I sing that song wrong going forward. I tend to sing your song instead.
Hey, I'm not going to complain.
No. Also another story. I went karaokeing the other night, and I did Blue Little Rose.
I remember.
A lot of people were like, "That's a really good song." Not necessarily, they sang it well, but they're like, "That song is really amazing." I'm like, "Yeah, it's this band, ENDPOP. Check them out."
Thank you so much. I remember when you did that.
You need to make more karaoke tracks.
I know, right? Well, you can now. AI can do it. I don't even need to. I can't even not authorize it. People can just do it and say, take the vocals out, and it does it now. So it's not like I can't, like it's so weird. Like anybody can do it now. It used to be harder.
How does a normal schmo like me do that?
It's a good question, actually. I don't even know where I would post such things. Even if I did it, like, where would I don't know. That's interesting. You bring up an interesting point.
Is it a program, or is it like what does it?
Oh,
what extracts the vocals?
Oh, AI. It's an actual AI that does it. It's crazy. You literally give it a song and it extracts the vocals and splits everything up, and it does it amazingly well.
Is there a certain program that you use to do that?
The one that I used was called La La La. Like, so just type, like in Google or something, type La 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 AI for music and it'll pop up. And yeah, it's I think you get 10 minutes for free, so it's enough to do one song, basically.
Okay.
And yeah, it's really interesting. You can just drop a song in there and it'll take the vocal out and spit it back out to you without it. It's pretty,
so like what song, like an MP3 or what?
If you pay for the what they call the good time, meaning like if you do like 15 minutes, and I think it's about $15 or $30, they'll give you
Oh.
like 90 minutes and they'll let you save it as a WAV file. So if you gave it a WAV file, it'll save it right back as the same WAV file. So
Oh wow.
that's what I did because I had to do it I did it for recently for World Without Love. And I did it for an old song that's on the new album that we didn't have the stems. So I brought that one. I did it and I was amazed at the job that it did. And I was able to recreate a whole new rhythm section around this old vocal, which is really crazy. Like it was nuts. It worked. So yeah, it definitely works, man. So.
Oh, awesome. Hey,
So.
I always learn stuff from you.
Well, thank you. I learned more stuff from you guys than you learned from me. Believe me. I that's why I do this. I like coming here to hang out with you people because it just makes me happy. I learn things
same.
and I like helping people out. So
yeah. And I love also just making you guys laugh. Just like my my story about thinking I was gay because I was buying cucumbers. I'm like, oh, this one's not good. Too soft.
It's the combination.
This was good.
It's the combination of things. So,
yeah, right?
do you ever go like? It's terribly un-PC, but don't ever buy the following items and put them down in front of the cashier when you're going to go shopping for food. Cucumbers, hand sanitizer, and any sort of hand cream. The three things are not good to have on the counter. You'll get the look.
No, that's what self checkout is for.
Oh yeah, and rubber gloves.
But it's a pandemic. So I know real quick. I have a DoorDash story. Like the other weekend, I DoorDashed like 4 morning after pills like in a row, and at first I was like, oh man, I'm like a fucking superhero. But then I was like, oh fuck, everyone's having more fun tonight. Everyone's having fun but me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Door dashing morning
because,
after pills. Oh my god.
Yeah, because the morning after pills always coupled with either chocolate or ice cream.
Yeah, that's so funny. But anyway, I tell this the joke I made was because Paul once went to the supermarket and for whatever reason all the different things that he had on the counter made the person look at him very strangely.
And he has that look too, like that mischievous grin,
Yes,
I
he does. Uh-oh. So some people are having trouble with the interwebs. It seems okay on my end, but I know sometimes it goes weird. But yeah, always pay attention to that shopping list when you're at the supermarket. I mean, somebody tries real hard because as humans we can't help it. We make patterns, so they just start going cucumber, hand sanitizer, rubber gloves. Oh,
rubber gloves, yeah. Hand cream.
It's just.
Oh man. See, I learned something else now. Oh, awesome. Well, man, thanks for doing this, Claude. I know everyone thanks you for doing it, but really, I mean, you got us through a lot of hard times, and hopefully we did the same for you, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
I'm speaking for everybody. You guys might as well just conform to what I'm saying because I'm on the phone right now.
So I had a song in mind, but you tell me what you want.
Let's see. What I want.
Almost Sky's the Limit. I have all the albums open, so you could just tell me which one, and I could probably pull it out, pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Let's go.
You're on the spot now.
Yeah, I'm on the spot. Let's do. Do you have a Heaven 60 demo?
I actually have. There is no demo for Heaven 60, but there's an acoustic version of it.
Yeah.
So funny. Someone always. Oh, you got me. I don't know. Do I have it? I should. That is a good question. Let's find out. Oh boy. What have I done? But I did say anything. Oh, I do. I do have it. I do. I think that's going to be the one that takes us out. All right.
Awesome.
That is going to be the song that takes us out. Well, thank you for calling, Tim. And thanks for the jokes. I appreciate them. I do appreciate it. Because I can get long-winded and so boringly non-funny. So that's good that you're there. You're giving me...
That's my thing.
Awesome. Well, have a good night. And someone's saying, please do twofers. Okay, I'll do a twofer on the way out.
Awesome.
All right, Tim. Have a good weekend.
Sweet dreams, Pod.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So I'm gonna make it a twofer. Steve wanted Listen, which was the first song that we ever played on the Listen show, which was really funny. And I think I have played it on the stream. I think I played it on the second or third stream that we did during the quaranstreams when it was when we were under lockdown. So I'm going to play that one first, and then I'm going to play the live version of Heaven 60, and that'll take us out. So it's going to be a twofer. So I'm going to say my goodnight now because, of course... Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that super chat. Oh my God. Thank you. Easy Sparky. Thank you for the super chat. Brian, thank you for that super chat. Oh my God. You guys are so awesome, man. Like, I can't believe it. I feel blessed. Thank you. Thank you. I'll have to make next week even better. Although I don't know what I'm going to do for next week, but we'll figure it out. We will figure something out. I have something in mind, but anyway. I'm going to play the songs now, and then we'll, do our thing. And while the visuals are playing, I will take us out. Listen, followed by Heaven 60.
Listen, the words that you told me will never unfold me, and it'll never be my down. And I feel the same, and I feel the same. Listen, do you will remember the words from September? They'll never be the same, and everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. Listen to the words in your head. They'll never make much sense instead. Listen to the words in your head and let me down. Listen, will you understand me when everything drowns me and everything is clear and everything's gone, and everything's gone. Listen, will you just remember? I thought that you told me you'll always be my friend, and I was the one. you said is wrong. The words that you make me strong, and all the worries in my head are coming back to me instead. The worries inside my head, the worries beneath my brains, and all of the fools that I've said to you are in love. Listen, will you just remember the words that you told me will never bring me down, and it'll be alright, and it'll be alright. Listen to the words in my head, listen to the words that you said, listen to the words in my head. You're looking slow, I'm looking down and made of stone. I'm made of stone. I'm made of stone. Listen, do you will remember the words that you told me will never be the same. And I was your friend, and I was your friend, and I stumbled on a hillside begging for the answer to a dream where I felt myself to stone. And in the dream there was a girl, she shook my hand and waved hello. I folded as I crumbled. I don't know why all the rain must always fall onto me. There are colors in the sky we cannot see. I do believe. And she said, heaven is the only way to fade. Heaven is the only way to fade. La, la. And so I told myself I'd have to find my way across alone. There are no reasons why. Just then the birds that flew all took me in their wings, and then I knew everything is surely something. My father died, never knowing what it was, and it was plain. It doesn't matter what you do or what you sense, avoid the pain. And she said, heaven is the only way to fade. changing all the words. And then the girl reached out and turned into the night and flew away. I asked her if she had any old regrets that made her stay. And she said, heaven is the only way to fade. Heaven is the only way to fade. And she said, heaven is the only way. Heaven is the only way. Heaven is the only way to Thank you for being here tonight. Heaven is the only way to How does it feel to be one of the beautiful people? How does it feel to be one of the beautiful people? How does it feel to be one of the beautiful people? Thank you very much. Good night.
And with that, good night.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?